As I sit here at the Poor Decision bar, I want to talk about empathy. It's something like I've been kind of thinking about for the past few days after a conversation with my sister. So, empathy is the ability to feel bad for other people. Okay. Different than anxiety, okay? So it's like someone coming in and, for example, someone hitting their foot somewhere or cutting themselves, not empathy is someone coming in and crying to you and you have the ability to feel bad for them. Now, my problem is that I have humongous empathy, and I'm an empath, so if anyone wants to know what that is, basically can really feel people's emotions. And I think unless you're completely have no empathy, you can feel a bit. It's just if you choose to care or not. I just had this conversation with my sister. It's so interesting. And she's like, I just can't feel empathy. And I'm like, wow, I wish I couldn't at times. But I'm like, so I started wondering, I'm like, okay, does that make you a bad person? And my sister is an amazing person, okay? Amazing, like bright, huge smile, probably kind of like mine. Very successful. But she lacks the empathy. And she's like, Ben, it doesn't mean that I don't feel bad. And I said, okay. And then I really started getting me wondering, and I've been asking multiple people for the past few days to kind of get people's insights and stuff. But I asked my sister, I said, if you killed someone, would you feel bad? And she's like, of course I feel bad. I'm like, yeah, but then, so is there different levels of empathy? That's the only thing I could think of. Not to bring in serial killers, but it's said that serial killers don't have any empathy. They don't have the ability to feel bad. Okay? So does that make them selfish? And then I said to my sister, I said, so for example, would you steal something from the store, which she never would do, okay? And she's absolutely never. She's like, I'd feel bad. And I'm like, okay, well, what if you hit someone? Like, what if you got in a car accident and you hurt somebody? And she said, I'd feel terrible. Like, I'd even feel like sick to my stomach. And I was like, okay. And that's what made me realize there has to be some level of empathy. It's not just all or none, I don't think. Clearly, some have absolutely none. And I think some just don't want to have it, maybe. And I don't know if it's a biological thing. Again, I am not a doctor. I couldn't tell you. I probably could figure it out if we looked it up. But is it how you're born? Is it how you're raised? I guess like your harder your childhood or the more abandonment, right? Like if your parents worked too much or they weren't around or you didn't feel love, I guess your empathy would be very low because you wouldn't know any different. I had a friend where his brother got couldn't have children and they got it from another country. And the kid's great, like awesome. It's just that, I don't know how I heard this or they told him, but basically in this country, they didn't really hold him kind of thing. So he's changed a bit, I guess. So I guess my guess is it probably changes your brain. Your environment and what you live is my guess could affect your empathy. Okay, is my guess. For example, a friend, we've all gotten rid of friends, we've broken up. How do you go from caring to not, I guess? But maybe empathy was never there. So my question is, if you don't have empathy, are you ultimately selfish? So again, I've been talking to a few people about this, and someone told me a story, like they threw out their wife's, I don't know what it was, like a book or something, whatever. And they said to me, they're like, I don't feel bad about throwing out the book. I feel bad that my wife didn't talk to me for 2 days because she was so pissed about it. So to me, I said, isn't that kind of selfish? And the person's like, yeah, it is. But that doesn't make you a bad person, though. And I've already talked about this. Everybody has a cross to bear. And it's not easy letting go for certain people, right? Some people just cut and dry. There's a lot of mental illness, right? I don't know if that would affect empathy. Is it what we're freaking eating? Who knows? Like, are we just getting colder? Like, are we just Are we all losing value? Is there no relationship anymore? I don't know, because empathy to me is like such an important thing. Because if you have empathy, you think twice, I think, anyways, before doing something. I mean, unless you're an extreme good person. And like I said, my sister is an amazing person. And I'm just picking on her because she's the one that kind of brought this up and kind of put me into a mental spin for a while about this, to be honest. It was very interesting question because so then back to my sister, I said, okay, so if you hit someone with a car and you hurt them, for example, would you feel bad? She says, yeah, like my stomach would hurt, everything, right? So your body takes over. So can you ignore your empathy? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think my sister can just ignore her empathy. But how do you not have it? Like my sister's a very cut and dry person. If she wants, for example, to cut a friend off, it's like I'm not trying to talk to her, but like certain people can just cut things off and it's done with. I'm the total opposite. I care way too much. Not what people think. It's a very big difference. I don't care what people think because I probably wouldn't act the way I do. And I don't act bad at all. I act way too kind. I get hurt a lot. I love big. And when I commit, I commit. And I wonder if that's my empathy that makes me hard to let go. But I don't think so, because if I don't like someone, for example, I don't want to waste their time either. So I don't think my empathy makes me affect anything. I think it's just my heart. I love. So if you guys have any stories about empathy or anybody, or anything to share, it doesn't totally make sense to me still. How do you not have empathy? But I mean, I get it. I know people that have no empathy and that are still good people, but are they more selfish than others? Is there a correlation? I don't know. I guess we're probably just as confused as we started. So if there was any value in this, I hope you got something. But that's just my thought right now for the night. Ben here, the man that's been married way too many times.